I'm Michael Drives, and this is the 2024 Volvo XC90 Recharge all-wheel drive ultimate trim in Vapour Gray. Right off the bat, you get 455 horsepower and 523 foot-pounds of torque in this plug-in hybrid. You can go for 33 miles on all electric, and then it'll switch to a normal hybrid, and you can go all the way with a full tank to 530 miles. Now this is the absolute top trim XC90 plug-in hybrid, and it has also a few additional packages added to it, and that's going to come in at $87,495. Now you don't have to pay that much to get into a Recharge, which is the plug-in hybrid, that's what Volvo calls it. You can start in the 70s. However, this car is basically an $80,000 car with added lounge seating, air suspension, and a Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Outside of the plug-in hybrid, you have two other engines, what Volvo calls the B5, which has some horsepower, the B6, which has more horsepower, and then this incredible 455 horsepower T8 Recharge all-wheel drive. Now, as far as trim levels, there's basically three, and you can choose one of those powertrains depending on, how high you want to spec the car. You've got the Core, which has really a lot of the, you get a power moonroof with that and a lot of really nice features. And then you can move up to the Plus, which adds more features, and then the Ultimate, which you see here. You can also choose a 6 or 7 passenger configuration. This one is a 7 passenger. However, you can configure it with 2 captain's seats in the second row. Under the hood of XC90, we have a 4-cylinder 2-liter inline turbocharged engine. Now that's paired with an electric motor to give you that combined 455 horsepower. And that's nothing to be shy. This car can pull 5,000 pounds when towing. So, not insignificant whatsoever. That's all from a 4-cylinder engine, turbo, but paired with an electric motor. And under this hood, besides being able to change your air filter, you can reach that, or you can come around here and there's a little windshield washer fluid. Everything else can be done by your Volvo dealer, and I believe this car comes with 3 years of included maintenance. Now I would like to close this, but I can't reach it. So if you're slightly shorter than I, and I'm already only 5'9", you may have to just kind of come around here to the side and bring it down a little bit and then bring it down the rest of the way. Right before I shut it, I'll note that it's really easy to find this little yellow latch there, so that when you bring it down and then have to open it back up, you release it in the car and just flip this little yellow thing to your right. There we go. Now, as this is a Volvo, it has a reputation that's been built on years of safety. So this actually gets a top safety pick from IIHS and a 5-star overall rating from NHTSA. It's kind of hard to believe that this car is in its 9th year, as it's exceedingly handsome, and I credit that to Volvo's timeless design. Here you have the large Volvo badge right here, the logo in this beautiful chrome grille, and just really, conservative but sharp and stylish. These LED headlights, as you can see over here, this is what's called Thor's hammer. So if Thor were carrying a hammer, this would be the hammer right here. That's what Volvo actually calls this design. And they've been using it for several years, and it still looks fresh. One of the nice things I like about this grille here is that Volvo, beautifully conceals the sort of radar for the cruise control down in here. And there's a small camera here. So from the front of the car, some manufacturers will just put a flat piece of plastic. There'll be a grill here, but then all of a sudden you just see this weird looking square of plastic where it's covered in and then it's open. Volvo's done a beautiful job with the design. It's just handsome, it's muscular, it's sophisticated, but without screaming, there's no gaping maw on the car or just something, obnoxious. So in 10, 15, 20, even 30 years, it's probably going to look a lot in the design language like Volvos of the future, because it looks like Volvos of the past. Coming down here to the front of XC90, you can see this large 21-inch wheel, all-season tires, and you've got a really nice design here with the wheel. And there's a choice of 2 wheels, at least on this trim. You've got this and then a more classic spoked wheel. I think this one looks a little bit more modern, and the other available wheel option that's included at no extra charge is a little bit more kind of like classy, more traditional luxury car looking. Over here you have the charge port. I'm going to spin around on this side. Now this will level 2 charge in 5 hours. So if you have a fully depleted battery, you're going to get a full charge in 5 hours on that level 2 charger, and you can charge on level 1, and that'll take a bit longer. And then you have a level 1 and level 2 charger actually included with the purchase of the car. Just zoom in on these wheels here, and then with this recharge model, you have this beautiful chrome strip that goes across the bottom there, and you've got bright work around the window trim, and of course a chrome roof rack on top. One of the things that's new for 2024, and actually I think it's the only thing that's new for 2024, is that you have laminated glass on the side of the car, and that's just going to help with sound insulation, and I will tell you, it is very quiet inside. Stepping around here to the rear cargo area, I did mention that you can tow 5,000 pounds with this car. Really elegant design in the back, sort of the timeless classic Volvo with the tail lights coming all the way up to the top and that rear deck spoiler. So let me swing around and show you the cargo space. Welcome to the back end of XC90. It's very stylish. You've got this tinted glass. You do have a rear wiper here, and then this nice Volvo lettering across the back. I really like it when brands kind of stretch out the name. It looks, you know, almost like the back of a Porsche. So very nice. And then a small badge here, T8 all-wheel drive recharge. Very subtle, nothing, you know, too flashy. What is a little flashy is this chrome coming across the bumper down there, and then of course integrated backup sensors. So I'm going to open this up and wave my foot down here. So hopefully this is going to see my foot. There it goes. And then I got to step back because that's a large hatch. And back here, you've got 65.5 cubic feet of space. Now, if I fold these third rows forward, I would just flip this little switch here. It's going to drop the headrest, and then that's going to go forward. And this one, I'll do the same thing here. And then with the rear seats down, you have almost 86 cubic feet of cargo space here in the back. Just under the floor here, not a lot of room, but you do have a level 2 charger, and combined actually level 2 and level 1 charger down in there. Really nothing else. You could put maybe a book or some manuals back there. That's about it if you wanted. One nice feature, you've got a 12-volt outlet. There is no 120-volt outlet anywhere in the car, so you're not going to be able to power something like at a campsite like you would in an EV or some other plug-in hybrids. You also have a really neat feature here. If you're loading some heavy stuff, or maybe a person of shorter stature, this is going to be great to sort of lift things over the edge. You can drop the suspension, and that's just going to lower the car to make loading and unloading so much easier. Because sometimes these cars, I mean, 3-row SUV, you're kind of lugging stuff in there, maybe a big stroller, big heavy suitcases. Now, this is almost down to my knee, and yep, that's as far as it's going to go. So much easier. And then, you get back in the car and you drive, it's automatically going to lift itself back up, or you can do it manually here. All right, let's head inside. Welcome to the interior of XC90. First thing you're going to notice is this beautiful maroon brown Napa leather in this ultimate package. Now, you can have this in several different interior color combinations, and I really like that you can choose. You can have a lighter dash down here, sort of a lighter gray. You can have a tan interior. This ultimate package actually comes with massaging front seats, and then this nubuck headliner. That's what the ultimate package is comprised of. Down here, as you can see, you've got this Orifice crystal shift knob. It comes with the ultimate package as well. And you'll just notice how timeless, even though this car is now 9 years old, it's still fresh and modern on the inside. You've got leather up here, wood trim, and then another contrasting leather down here. Really nice grab handles. The design is just sophisticated. While you have a touchscreen here, it does look a little dated. That is my one criticism. And I say that not because, it's small, but the pixels on it, you can just kind of see the little tiny squares, and in the newer high-res screens, that is one thing that you don't notice at all. You do have a fully digital display. What I love about this is it has very modern gauges. Your speedometer is big and crisp, and then on the other side, it shows your power level when you're in that EV mode, that what they call pure mode, and then there's also a shifter When that's off, there's nothing else on the display. However, you can switch to a map mode where you just click it down here. I forgot to mention that this has Google built in. So you have Google Maps and you have Google Apps built in, and also the Google Assistant. So I can say, hey Google, turn on heated steering wheel.
Sure, turning on the steering wheel heater.
All right, it's that easy. You can just tell the car what to do and what it'll do. Okay Google, turn off steering wheel heater.
Okay, turning off the steering wheel heater.
She's a little quicker that time. Now you might be wondering, what is up here on the dash? This thing that looks like an egg or a shower nozzle. This is the Bowers & Wilkins audio system. And it is the best audio system I have heard in a car in I can't remember how long. Now this is an upgrade, a little over $3,000. I think it's $3,200. You get 12 speakers in the car, a ventilated subwoofer. Most importantly, over 1,400 watts of power. It is just fantastic. I hear things in songs I've been listening to for years that I have never heard before. It's so good that I would say this is an $87,000 sound system that comes with a free plug-in hybrid. That's how incredible it is. And no matter what trim I would spec, if I didn't get anything other than the very base plug-in model, I would add the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Moving to the center console, this is where you start and stop the car, or the engine actually. So there's a little knob here, and with a flick of the wrist, you start the car, and then to turn it off, weirdly enough, you kind of turn it the same way. You'd think you'd turn it to, counterclockwise, but no, you just give it another flick clockwise, and you're good to go. You've got your electronic parking brake here, and then you slide this beautiful thing back, and you've got a 12-volt accessory outlet and cup holders down in here. And if I slide this little thing forward, there's just a little bit more storage, so you can put a pack of gum in there or something like that. If you want to store more things in here, you're going to lift this up, the center armrest, and down in here, you can store things, and there are two USB-C ports. Now, one of them is connected to the audio system because this does have, even though it's Google-based here, you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. However, they are both only wired. I'll also say, even though this is a smaller touchscreen, and some cars just have enormous tablets, style screens here for your infotainment, the nice thing is you can kind of anchor your finger and then touch the button. So if I'm on here, I can just kind of put my thumb here by the air vent and just click. And so when you're in the car, you kind of have a place to home in on, and then just tap whatever you need to on the screen. So a smaller screen can be a little bit better. So I have no qualms with the size of the screen. I just wish it were a little more crisp. One thing this does not have is HD radio. It's frustrating to me. One of my favorite radio stations is an HD station. However, you can't have that, although you can have the Google Play. You can have an app in here like Spotify or Tidal, or you can stream it from your phone in Apple CarPlay. But it's terrestrial radio, and I would just like to be able to tune it in and not think about any of that or have a subscription to have to get to the music that I want to listen to. While this has an automatic climate control system, one neat thing is it has an air purification system. It's filtering out 95% of the nasty pollutants that are outside. So if it's dusty or there's some sort of windstorm or maybe fires somewhere, it's going to clean that air actively. Besides your normal filter, there's an active system that can clean the air. Back up here, as I look, this moonroof actually can open. So I just kind of tap this little thing here, and the whole moonroof will slide halfway back, a very big opening. Some manufacturers only give you a few inches. This gives you, maybe 10 inches opening. So that's kind of nice. You get your sunroof without just having a solid pane of glass. I'm gonna give that a close here. In addition to the sunroof that opens, there is a panel that can electrically slide. And if I hit that, that's going to come all the way from the back and sort of block out that light. So if you're driving in the hot sun midday in Arizona or somewhere in California, or really anywhere, and you're, want it just kind of a little darker and cooler on the inside on a hot day, you can close that sunshade. While this screen, in its resolution is a little bit dated, it's actually very fast and reacts quickly to any input, so it doesn't feel lagging or old in that sense. And you get a 360-degree view if you would like. You just hit that button and you can see all the way around the car when you're parking super awesome. It puts the 4 cameras, there's 2 on each side, front and back, combines that image, and you can see all the way around you. So if a kid is down in front of the grill, you know, picking up a toy, you're not gonna miss it because, well, one, the sensors are gonna pick up that there's someone up there, but you can see it if you're in this 360-degree view, which is just fantastic. If you want to access the glove box and you look, wait, I can't find the switch, there's just a little button here and you press that and the glove box drops. Nice little trick. It just keeps the design clean here and adds a touch of luxury because it softly, gently falls, and of course the glove box is lighted. So let's get in the back seat and see what we have there. Now we find ourselves in the second row of the XC90. One of the things I'll note right here is you have a full climate control system available for the back passengers. Now, right now it's locked out, but you can release that in the back, if I hit this little unlock button, nope, it has to be done in the front so that you can change your climate back here and adjust heating and cooling. Down here, it looks like there's a little cigarette lighter, 12-volt accessory, but if you flip it down, wow, there's actually 2 USB-C ports. So it's a little hidden in there. You think there's only one, but flip it down and there's 2 USB-C ports and there's a little battery symbol on the front. Because of the drivetrain, there is a little hump down here in the back, but it's not too intrusive. There just isn't a flat floor. You have nets on the back of the back seats, and I'm 5'9". This is how much space I have. That seat is pretty far back in the front, so extremely comfortable for these second row passengers. While you have the climate controls here and you have vents here, you also have vents here, and you can move them and close them. So you're not a second-class citizen in the back. Because this is the ultimate package, you have window shades available in the second row. One other cool thing you'll find here is if you have something long in the back and you have 2 passengers, say, there are 4 people in the car, 1 on each outboard side, you can just pull this little strap here. This is going to drop down, and now you can load something really long through. In fact, you can load it all the way up to the front if you need to. I just put some towels down so you don't scratch anything. So that's really neat. I'm going to just adjust that back a little further. Okay. You still have, even though this drops down, a nice little place to put your cups here and rest your arm. So 2 cup holders there. Now let's check out the third row and see how comfortable we are there. Now I'm going to climb back here and sit in the center. Well, there is no center. So now you see where it's a little less comfortable. So my knee is right against here. Now that person in the front can slide this seat up a little bit, but this is really for smaller people. I wouldn't put adults in here. It's doable as long as they're not 6'5" or maybe even 6'1". But if I lay back here, cool, but my knee wants to be there and it's tucked in right here. If I go in a little bit further, I can't even do this. Like, this is not happening. But if you can fit in the back seat, you're still not forgotten about because you have map lighting up here. You got a light on each side, and then you have air vents. You don't have your own controls in this row, but that's still controlled in the second row or up at the driver's. However, you've got cup holders, you've got little storage bins back here. There is no glass coverage that comes back this far. That's only for second row and above seating. Now let's take a look at the drive that I did in XC90 so that you can see how it handles on the road. So off we go. Make sure I look in the rearview mirror and didn't leave anything back there. Okay, that's good. So, pure EV mode, I still have 22 miles of range left on this car. Just really takes off, super smooth. And some really nasty bumps there, as you may have felt that. We're gonna make a left here, come down this little embankment and get on it, and if I want to hammer it, boom, off I am, and now I'm already behind the car in front of me. So really rough pavement, those 21-inch wheels soak it up very nice. I would say this car drives more luxury than it does sport, but that's something that you would expect from a Volvo. Now I'm going to hit that point where I hit the worst pavement that I'm going to encounter this whole trip. So you can see car's not upset at all. I'm going to hit some more bumps right here. And I'm directly hitting them head on, and that's it. This laminated windows, side windows here for 2024 help block out any extra sounds that you might encounter in the city or on the highway, and just So peaceful and so quiet. If you hear anything right now, it's probably the fan whirring on the HVAC system, because again, that gas engine's not kicking in, and it's not going to need to the whole ride. My fingers are finally warmed up thanks to this heated steering wheel, and I can say, okay Google, turn heated steering wheel to low.
Okay, changing the steering wheel heater to low.
It just works. I love that. One of the things about driving this plug-in hybrid is it doesn't feel any different than a normal car, except there's less vibration and harshness when you're in that pure EV mode, which you can program the car to start out in that mode, and it will drive in pure EV until it decides it can no longer do that according to the state of battery. So I'm in this little twisty part here. I'm gonna get on the accelerator. I never leave pure EV mode, and the car is just handling fantastically. Even though it is leaning a little bit, I mean, it is a 5,000 pound car. So a little bit north of 5,000 pounds. So there's a lot of heft, but with 455 horsepower, you can move those 5,000 pounds pretty quickly and efficiently, which is the great thing about this car. In pure EV mode, I just hit that accelerator. It's not brisk like an EV. The last car I drove was a Polestar, Volvo related. There's a lot of bits in here that come, shared between the two brands. Anyhow, it's just smoothly accelerating, super quiet. And that plug-in hybrid is going to sort of be your intro drug into electric transportation. You're just gonna love driving in pure EV mode all the time, and you're gonna save a lot of money because you're not filling the car with gasoline. Now on pure electric, this car gets over 56 mpge. It might be a little bit north of that. However, when you start out with a battery that maybe you didn't charge last night, and that's the idea of a plug-in hybrid, is that you want to go home and plug in every night. That's where you're going to see the benefit in this car. So if you start out without a full charge on the battery, you're going to get 27 miles per gallon, and that's still better than, at least that's what I'm seeing, that's still better than the just standard gas car. And there may be tax incentives for getting that plug-in hybrid as well. In this stop and go traffic, I'm just going to set the automatic cruise control, the radar, and it's now nicely following the car in front of it. So there's nothing I really need to do. This car is full of active and passive safety features. So when you're on the road, you can just feel really safe and secure knowing that, one, it's a Volvo, two, you have all these electronic nannies around you, and they're also not intrusive, which is a bonus. I've not had anything kind of do what I didn't expect it to do, which is very nice. Let's see, recalculating, I missed one turn. Okay, we're gonna make the next one and head up this street. It is a beautiful morning today, and I'm very happy to be driving this car. I'm gonna turn the heat down. In fact, if I wanted to turn the heat, okay, Google, turn heat to 68 degrees.
Got it. Changing the heat to 68 degrees.
This would be the ultimate plug-in hybrid road trip car. Just the efficiency is excellent, so smooth. The powertrain is really refined, and you don't always get that in a plug-in hybrid. Sometimes they're a little herky-jerky, the brake feel might be a little weird. None of that issue with this car at all. Okay, we're gonna make a left here, and I'm gonna pull out rather rapidly so you can kind of feel what that horsepower looks, feels, and sounds like. Hopefully I get a chance here to just get on it. Here we go. And it's gonna kick in that gas motor, and oh Nelly, it's gonna go. And that concludes our brief drive in the car. I highly recommend, if you're looking for a comfortable, classy 3-row SUV and you don't want to be like every neighbor, or maybe you will be if they all drive Volvos, definitely check out this car, take it for a spin. The Recharge would be the only model that I would look at because it's electrified, but also it's the most powerful engine that you can configure in this vehicle. And now it's time for my fabulous favorites and not so favorites about this vehicle. The Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It sounds incredible. No matter how you spec this car, if you love music, just add that to the ticket. You're gonna love it. Second fabulous favorite, it's actually built in Sweden. That's kind of cool. It's not made in some mystery factory. It's a Swedish brand by heritage, and it's built in Sweden. I love the power. So the way that vehicle operates, the electric motor is attached to the drive line, and it is able to accelerate up to highway speed on EV mode without, shifting. Some manufacturers put the electric motor on the engine and then it still has to go through the gears. This is an 8-speed automatic transmission, but you never feel that. You feel like you're driving an electric car until that battery is low enough that the gasoline engine needs to kick in. My third fabulous favorite, the understated luxury of this car. The design, again, timeless. And you're kind of wondering, well, Michael, isn't there a new EX90 all-electric Volvo that's a 3-row SUV? And there is, and you can get that today, and it's a totally different feeling inside. It is a lot more modern than this. However, this design still does not look dated. Now, my list of not so favorites, well, actually, that list is kind of small. Again, there's no HD radio. It's kind of a bummer if that's what you're into. If you don't listen to any HD radio or terrestrial radio, you're fine, don't worry about it. That center infotainment touchscreen, another not so favorite. The graphics are just not as crisp as maybe what you would see in the EX90 or another more modern vehicle that sort of just came out onto the market. Finally, that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is not wireless, so you can charge your phone in the wireless charger, but you still have to plug in to be able to use those. Now, the built-in Google system is so good, you may not need CarPlay for navigation, although you still might want to use it for your music. That brings us to the end of this review of the XC90. Thanks for sticking with me. Please subscribe if you like this video. Actually, click that like button as well, but most importantly, subscribe. If you have any comments about the review, questions about the car, please put those in the comment section on the video and I will get back to you. I will personally message you on the app. Until the next review, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Did you notice for this Swedish car that I wore the most Swedish outfit I possibly could for this review? Good eye. If you're having trouble seeing out the back and that third row is up, you just hit this little button. Oh.